What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another live production. You're joined by I'm going to call it the dirty crew here. Sam's lighting is some dirty lighting, is all I'm saying. It's
You
tough to see
told
what
me
you
to
got going on
improve
over
it.
there.
You
Yeah,
told me to
I don't know if
improve
you
it.
improved. You need some frontal lights. We can't see what's going on there. You only
I
got
haven't
backlights
finished
going
yet.
on.
It's a work in progress.
It's fair.
All
We'll
right.
let it slide. I know it's tough times. Um, George, you look comfortable.
Very.
I'm just like you're leaning back. You just look real comfy. And then I know Chris has to be tired. Like Chris is grinding so heavy, he's got to just be exhausted. I don't know, but I would think you have to be, or I want whatever you're doing in order to stay energized during Team of the Season because my grind level has been real weak during Team of the Season.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely last 2 days I felt it, but the weekend's coming up, so I got to stream long hours there too. I can't stop.
Oh, by the way, Sam, can you please send us invites if I remember properly?
Yeah, I'm the one who's going to do it. Are we? Yeah, actually, are we? Have we? Can we see Mike's screen? Is he in the kit? Where are you at, Mike? We need to show the world what we're planning.
Right now,
So
so I'm
you're-
rocking the boxers. I want a little like I want to show off that we got something to work with. The little shorts, and then I've got the oversized Inter Nike collaboration that is brand new in Volta.
Love it. Also, sorry, the final whistle just went. Fucking come on.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Trash and
I learned something
Let's
else.
go.
I think it was a pretty meaningless game though, right? Because I think West Ham had to win big on both their games left, and I think Chelsea was pretty much solidified top four, and Arsenal really don't have to play for much right now.
Well, Europa League is what we're playing for.
Trash.
Play for the year, even though that's very doubtful as well. There's still hope.
Is
There's
there?
still
I
a
thought.
chance.
I thought they said during the Europa League game the announcer was like for the first time in 30 years Arsenal's not going to be in Europe or something like that.
I didn't realize it was confirmed.
Not confirmed yet.
Who knows? Who bloody knows?
Oh yeah,
I
you
would
know
say
to
that
be fair.
Everton's gonna pass you up. You've got you guys have played 2 more games, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
So
Tottenham,
Everton will
Liverpool.
skip you. Yeah, but they also have games in hand, so I think Arsenal's in a tough spot there. You need losses
A lot
from
of
Everton,
people,
losses from I think Leeds is maybe too far out, so you need losses from Everton.
Yeah, Everton, Tottenham, and Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool plays United. Hopefully, United plays full, which they won't.
No, we rested a lot of players yesterday, so we should play a full squad tomorrow. Hopefully,
think
play
so?
good.
FIFA 21.
Yeah, we started a 17-year-old on left wing, 18-year-old on
saw
right
that.
wing. Yeah.
I saw that. I thought he was just gonna completely scrap the league and just save the players for Europa League final.
Yeah, Europa League finals not till the 26th or 29th, something like that. So we still have so much time. The players do still need to be match sharp, I think. So he's definitely gonna play them against Liverpool.
I like our look, by the way, as a squad. This is a pretty serious squad look right now.
It's probably the most confident look I've ever had since we started.
Yeah, your pro looks like he's gonna do some things. But
Yeah.
I would not want to guard. I would not want to guard that Chris RM, especially if you bring the package you did last week. You were real dangerous. Team of the Season Chris was a serious contender.
Yeah.
What up, stream? I hope everybody's doing well.
I'm feeling good about today. I'm feeling hopeful.
We haven't lost in a while. It's been 2
Oh
shows.
boy, now I'm not feeling nearly as good after that. That
Yeah,
is a dangerous
after those
thing.
two.
Arsenal have put me in a good mood.
Let's see how many shows we could go without losing.
Find
That
out.
Killer Villa, I think you've got it on your screen as well. The Killer Villa at the bottom is an awesome jacket.
Wow, that's a kit we should get, or a hoodie, or windbreaker, whatever that is. Well, no kit problems to start. Oh, funky.
Let's start.
I like
Let's
the
start.
teamwork. I like the teamwork.
Everyone touches the ball.
Yeah. Oh.
They got Roberto Carlos.
We've seen worse
What?
versus better icons.
Oh, I tried to get it to you. Oh, we having fun today, boys.
Oh, nutmeg. He's coming back to him. Wow,
Oh
what a
my!
pass. Pass.
The amount of own goals Sam has scored, I can't even.
Oh.
I don't know how I score these on goals either. They're like beautiful finishes. If they were the other end, we'd all be going crazy. But for some, they're not like tap-ins. They're like beautiful finishes.
Let's go, Eusebio. Let's go, Eusebio.
Oh, he's still there. He's still got it.
Yeah. Quick feet, baby.
Own goal supremo.
Cooks. How's that a foul?
They
Mike.
stretched.
Can we talk about how you were going through it this weekend, League?
I was quitting out of there. I was like, I'm done, man. I'm done.
Yeah, you just completely rage quit your stream.
Yeah.
I saw the team you were trying to build too. I was like, this guy's not gonna have a lot of fun this weekend with the teams I was seeing on Friday.
Doing great. I was like 14-1, and then I got rated, and then it was only losses from there for a while. I was like, oh no. I think I went dude, no joke. I think I went from 14-1 to like, I don't know, like 17-5 or something. I'm like, I'm out. This is a wrap for me. Whoop. Oh. He tried to do a Sam there with the own goal.
Edge of the box.
Yeah, my team's so not competitive, it's very problematic.
Yeah, like you were able to keep up in like the first few weeks. You were hitting like 29s because everyone's team was pretty similar, but especially now, everyone has.
It's wild how much the team makes a difference.
Oh yeah, I definitely. For having a pay-to-win account that I share with somebody else, and with my RTG, it's just 9 day the player difference. Like using Team of the Year Mbappe and Team of the Year Ronaldo up top compared to like Dalglish's baby card like a few weeks ago is just 9 day.
Well, it gives you margins, especially if the connection ends up being bad. So like I play a lot of times I get West Coast games later on, and like I'm just there. I don't know what's happening, but I'm in the game, but I'm not able to move. And you can tell, and it's so frustrating to tell that like your opposition can move a little bit quicker than you. I don't know. There's just nothing about it that's so bad.
Yeah. It's one thing if you're both going through it, but if the guy has a severe advantage over you, like that should not happen.
I feel like my goal wasn't appreciated enough, by the way, guys.
Sorry, I forced a rage quit, but we were having a separate conversation right now. But
it's okay.
I think I broke like a controller this past weekend.
Yeah.
First PS5 controller is done. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I rated you, and I had my screen on. I went to go eat, and I came back like an hour and a half later, and you were just going absolutely crazy.
I really worked my way up, man. I'm the original rager. You know, like before it was cool to do raging. I'm very good at it.
100%.
I like this desk is so strong. Like I can confirm its strength. I thought I was gonna get like a noise complaint because I was playing kind of later in the evening, and I was like, this ain't going well. I'm like, I did a favor. I got on. I worked all weekend, and I got on for this. I was so worked up, so pissed.
For as bad as my FIFA rages have been, I've never been able to break a controller because I'm like, I am not trying to buy another controller that's $60. Like, I'd be going through them easily. I wasn't
far off taking the monitor. I was not far off the monitor. I thought about it. I was like, controller through monitor sounds real nice right now. Bro, how old is Casey? She just bought her first car? Is she that young? Casey?
No, she's like 26, 27, I think.
Why is she just getting her first car now? I mean, good for you. Congrats.
Maybe she had one that was passed down or something. Like that's what I'm using right now. I'm using my grandmother's car that I have.
But I would have considered that's still my car. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm missing. Because I was gonna say like she doesn't live. I think she lives like in the suburbs. Like you need a car. There is no car route. I remember the first car I got when I was 17. I bought a Saturn. It was a 2-door for like $1,800, and that thing lasted me like 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
5 years? That's really good for something that cheap.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad. I ran it into the ground though because I did a couple trips that were like real long distance, and yeah, that was the end of that one.
Yeah, my car probably wouldn't be able to handle that long distance.
Yeah, I did that vehicle for like 4 or 5 years. Then I bounced around because I was still in school, and I think I borrowed a truck for like half a year, and then I used a minivan for like another half a year, and then when I graduated, I got my own car. I had like a Ford. I think I had a Ford Fusion, which I actually really liked. It was a hybrid. It was really nice.
My parents actually had a Ford Fusion as well when I was really young.
Yeah, I really liked it actually. And then I moved to New York shortly after. Kind of, that was my last one before moving. And there's no reason to have a vehicle here. Wow.
Yeah, especially if you move to the city. Doesn't make sense.
No, it'd be an absolute waste of money. Insurance, trying to park the thing, you name it. Oh, please give me a goal. Oh!
And also like I heard parking spaces in New York City, they go up to like $1 million or something like that for like a private parking space. Not that yours would cost $1 million, but like,
I mean, that's if you buy one as well.
yeah.
But like, it's not gonna be that. There's like one article that came out that somebody paid $1 million for one. You know, so it's like you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what the average is for that because I just haven't had a vehicle. But like, no matter what, you would be renting. You know, you wouldn't buy a. You wouldn't go from I just got a car to I'm buying a parking spot. You know.
Yeah.
It would go to like I park on the street. Or I have a lot that I'm using, but even a lot, like you're gonna pay at least, I would say at least $250 to $350 a month, probably to park it. Sam's feeling real
fancy today.
Sam-like. Yeah, real Sam-like.
I'm just here to have fun, man. I'm here to have fun.
A little saucy. Yeah.
Big switch.
Oh.
My guy's looking a little husky, by the way, with this jacket.
I mean, he's already scored 2 goals. He's sticking up. He's still got the pace. I don't know what happened here.
Big switch.
We all need to go for Chris's player build. Uh-oh.
We made sure not to miss that.
I'm not mad at him. Can we get some game sound? Anybody got game sound? I want some game sound. Oh.
Big switch.
It's a foul. It's a foul, ref.
Sam's not trying to play defense today at all.
Yeah, I am. I'm right here. I knew I could get back. Don't give me that.
I got his foot.
There you go.
What is he doing? Interesting. Wow.
How did
You guys are
I'm
bad.
impressed. I think I respect that. Headers aren't easy in this game, or this game mode. We woke these guys up. Oh. Wow. Come on, Eusebio. Big outlet, big outlet.
I'm holding circle, man.
Bro, you got the slow fingers, them old man fingers. What is that? If that went in, we might have to have a reevaluation. Look at Eusebio. Oh, what a man. What a man. Come on, Chris. Oh. I was admiring. Ref, that's a foul. That is an absolute foul. Watch the pass. Tell you, Sam. Just pass, bro.
All right, come on. You guys are good.
I don't want to lose this game.
Uh,
Oh boy. Woken these guys up.
Oh, no.
how did what?
That was perfectly defended, man.
Thank
Are we
you.
good now? We good?
Yeah,
I
we
think
got
we're gonna keep running.
It's all good. It's all good. Sam's not playing defense as per usual, and I can't control
Oh
the
my
keeper. There's our own goal. God dang it, bro!
What is
I'm
going
not losing. I'm gonna take my headphones off. You're not gonna cost us this game. You single-handedly is costing us this game right now.
You know, it's so funny. He was the one that said,
Come on.
"I have a good feeling about today."
No, you knew.
Well,
what he
actually,
was
George said it first.
Come on,
No,
what are you doing on defense?
No. You said it first, and then George said we haven't lost in a while. He added in.
Come
All
on,
right, come on. All right, let's get one back.
finish. Yes.
I blocked the keeper off there.
Let's go. Come on.
Let our real offensive players do stuff, you know? God.
Sam is like mudded already. We're
You
not
know,
even
Sam
like 10
scored
minutes
3
in.
goals for them in a half. He loves it. He loves it. He's literally like throwing it for the team right now.
You know,
Gave him an
there's
own goal and like 2 defensive plays where he's like, here you go. You know, I don't know if you knew what you wanted to do, but this is what we're going to let me help you. Let me help you make decisions.
Sam, at some point, there's gonna be like a little trigger that goes off in your mind. It's like I'm done, and you're just gonna take out all your frustration on Mike. Like it's gonna be fantastic to see.
Yes,
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my
Yeah.
days.
I got to hit it. Sorry.
Oh, Chris on the corner duty now.
See, their header worked a little different than ours. I'm there. I'm there. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, we need those finishes. Stars. Yeah, in there. You're welcome. Yes, George. That was smart. That was smart, George.
I would. What?
Come on.
Oh no. Yes.
I couldn't see that he was going.
It's alright. I just showing Sam how to chase back.
This prick.
Win a header for us. Nope, can't even do that anymore. Okay.
Oh, Mike's in one of those moods.
Yeah, I want to win this game. Oh my god.
I'm doing this on purpose now.
No, I don't want to hear that. You're not. You can't. You're not doing it on purpose. You're just not able to keep up. It's okay. I can't relate.
Nice. Come on, come on.
We got time to work with. Oh boy. What was that? How did I have a whip cross? I have a whip
How
cross.
did you go, oh boy, when I blocked across?
I've seen what you've done in this
No
game.
way.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes.
I mean, I would have been pissed if that got through 4 of us on the line.
Sam hasn't
Oh
won a
my-
header in 2 games. Come
That
on.
was me winning a header. What are you talking about, Mike?
No, they just lost it. Let's go. I got fouled. Nice take. These blocks are not helping us. We out, we out, we out, we out. Come on, come on. Coming back to you. Cool. We got time. Minute left, baby.
We go.
At least a draw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No way. Come on. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Good stuff, Sam. Let's go. Beat him.
No, that was a pass.
Interesting choice. It's fine. Wow.
Oh, how does he still get through? I got ball.
That seems unlucky. Get your punk. What? Come on. Then we out.
Oh, that's
Oh,
terrible.
That's
These
pretty dirty.
guys.
That's pretty dirty, man.
Die, man.
Wow, what an outlet.
Nice.
Stay on.
Let's go.
Yes. 10
Damn,
seconds.
that's
That
all.
was huge.
Damn,
This guy,
stop,
this guy,
one stop,
Mike
one
said,
stop.
"Stay on, stay on," like he was offside.
True. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
out. Let's go out, out, out.
Wait, 3 seconds.
Oh, that was it. All right, well done still. We got back into it. Sam, you made a good tackle at the end, Sam.
That was a wonderful situation. Well done.
Oh, but
You must have pushed the wrong button, but we'll take it. Man, that team got a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Because remember, we were up 2-0 instantly in that game.
Yeah.
We woke them up.
what lighting do you use? Like, do you use use panels or do you use boxes or rings?
I've got the Elgato joints, the key lights. I don't know what George and Chris have.
How many do you guys use?
I just have
How
a
much
new
you guys
ceiling
use?
fan.
Chris is just positioned correctly in the room.
No, I actually like my parents actually got me like a new ceiling fan just to get better lighting in my room because the lighting in my old it was so bad. So I
That
got
is
like
sweet.
in the summer, yeah. I would like to get some like better lighting like behind here because there is so much space that I can just put stuff. I might do like some soundproof stuff as well, like on the walls.
Oh, does that mean you're staying locked in there?
Yeah. Oh,
I feel like there's a little kick flash here.
a little bit. I'm open. Yep. To you. Oh. Oh.
That was a lefty as well.
Who's got the background noise? Is that you, Sam? Big,
Yeah, it
big,
is.
big. You got company right now? What's going down? You got an audience? A live
I
audience?
do. I have an audience.
Mm. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I got him, I got him.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Can you still hear it,
FIFA
Mike?
Brit. FIFA Brit.
What's good?
Background
Thanks for
element,
the
I
re-up, man.
appreciate it, buddy.
That was the most stylish own goal ever. I've seen that from like Sam's, I think, first game of own goals. You owe us another one this game too, Sam.
Alright.
Path what you're on right now. Oh, there we go. Didn't have to be right this instant. Okay.
I'm trying. You said I owed you one.
Oh, that's such a beautiful ball.
Oh, how did you get through?
Why does he not pass that to his teammate? Oh, I like what we got going on.
Can you still hear the background, Mike?
A little bit.
Not a. Okay, I'm not hearing it at the moment.
Alright, I'll just keep turning my mic sensitivity down.
It's a good connection. I regret that you learned that trick.
Oh, yeah, I love that trick. It's also not a hard trick.
Oh, that's trash on my end. Sorry. Big one. Ooh, baller.
Oh, nice.
There it
Nice.
is. Nice skull. It's a nice skull.
That was nice. It did touch the ground, unfortunately.
And we're off. Bike it, bike it.
Nah.
Oh, I thought he was gonna reach back something. There we go. You saved it. In the air, big one.
Oh, that's how is that
No
not foul?
call.
I mean, excuse me? We had no rules or
I'm
what?
sitting deep.
I see. Oh, how did that not get through to you?
They just got two that are hanging. This guy's
That
this guy's name is
Pie
Pie.
Face. You saw that?
Yeah, yeah. I just noticed that.
Hey. 5.
Oh, I think that would have curled in.
Just sent a report to over 20,000 people. However else this day is going. Is that good? I guess that's good.
I hope
Feels
it's a
good to have
report.
Mike's audio in both ears this week. Same.
Did you guys hear about the whole gas situation going on right now?
Yeah,
the
I did.
shortage.
Yeah, like New Jersey, there's like people are struggling to find gas at gas stations, which means they're probably gonna have the same issue over here soon.
Ooh.
It's a
Ooh.
save
All
game,
right.
man.
So good. Sam's. That was one tap of X.
You got a big forehead. How does he play that wide?
Oh,
Okay. These guys are done. They just got stepped all over. Oops.
Nice.
Okay.
he always goes for the chip. Open net goes for the chip. That's could have chipped that
built it
there
up
unless
my-
he did.
I
My team
did. That
this
was a chip.
season.
It just went flying.
Oh, I had the keeper on that one. You saw that one coming.
It's gotta be a red.
Oh,
I'm
this
on
is
these now.
There we go. Let's go, Chris.
I don't even know
I
what
see.
I'm doing here.
Bottom right.
I think it's
Bottom
scoreable
right.
from here.
Bottom
I
right as
go.
well.
Yeah, bottom right.
Wait, it doesn't give me the arrow or anything. I can't shoot. Look, I'm pressing circle. Look.
I can't see your screen, but
Yeah,
it
we
usually
can't.
will let
Look
me.
on
I mean,
VMix.
your must be glitched out then.
Yeah.
We can't move either.
Oh,
I don't think we're gonna have a good. I hope this is one of those default shooting animations that just flies in.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's gonna shoot either.
No, it's pro clubs. We just gotta wait.
What is going on?
I think one of them is left.
I
Oh, maybe
refuse
it's
to take
that.
a
Maybe
loss
it's
like
that.
this.
Oh, that's why. I think they were quitting.
I mean, they had good reason to quit. They weren't getting back into that. It wasn't
Yeah.
looking likely. Today is the day of the rage quits, apparently.
Well, now you can just hang out with us, FIFA Brit. The day is over. Mike, what are we doing this weekend? You got broadcasts?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got playoffs for Oceania this weekend. And then next week, I'm expecting a brunch from you on Monday. I think.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Potential brunch Monday. George, you're welcome. Same with you, Chris, if you want to take a break.
Right,
I
you guys have in the city. We'll
have
take you out.
Did you have finals?
Next Tuesday, I'm done with finals.
Fair.
Once
Invite
I'm
us
getting my first vaccine probably in the next week or two. So right after that, I'm coming through.
Cool, man.
Like, yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, still a great time to live in New York. I was looking for a friend of mine, bro. Prices have never. It's unbelievable. Like I'm finding 2 bedrooms in Manhattan right now for under $2,000. 2-bedroom.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen a prices like that in my life.
Damn, I'm about to come through.
I mean, come on, like that's like you're never gonna sign something like that for 2 years. It's gonna be small, but like run that up. That's cheaper than living in other big cities.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't get you're just not gonna get. You're gonna get a small apartment. I'll be very transparent. You will get only the apartment. Like you will each get a room and 1 bathroom. But I mean, for under $2,000 or for 2,000 even is wild.
Your birthday next Sunday, FIFA?
Don't you have to sign something before you get the apartment, or you have to make like 40 times the rent of that apartment? Isn't that how
Depends
it's
on
done
the
in the city?
place, but yeah, it's like so you'd have to show in theory, let's say that your rent was I guess $1,000, you'd be $40,000 a year that you make.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like there's also leeway there, from interpretation on that kind of thing. And also right now I feel like
they
they
ask for proof.
yeah,
they don't even ask
I
for
think
proof.
there's definitely room. Like they're supposed to. That's the answer. They're supposed to, but like I feel that they're more strict on that as you get into more expensive apartments, not cheaper apartments.
You can also
So,
have
like-
a guarantor on the cheaper ones, like one
Yeah,
of your parents
that's
can
true.
just sign
You
off
can throw
on
your
it.
parent.
Or one of your older friends.
Yep. You guys want me to guarantor an apartment? I'll have regret that. I feel like I'm getting a phone
Uncle
call
Sam,
immediately.
Uncle Mike.
Yeah,
Me
please
and
call.
George
Please
in
call
an
Sam.
apartment.
I could just see getting a phone call being like, "Hey, yeah, there was a lot happening last night." I'm like, This is not good. I don't want this phone call,
Every weekend league, you're hearing like controllers being smashed.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
bro.
man.
To be honest with you, when you're on a cheaper apartment like that, or probably like in the East Village or Lower East Side, they're not going to care about any of the noise you guys make.
Really?
Nah, no way. New York's loud, bro. Like, if anything, your apartment's gonna be loud from other people.
Yeah.
Man, I'm considering it.
I mean, I'm telling you, at that price, like, I literally looked today because like, one of my friends hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna move at the end of the month," you know, and he already lives in Manhattan, but he's like, "Let me." This is kind of like he was thinking like I was gonna move with a roommate, but he has like a budget of like, you know, a couple grand, give or take a little bit over, maybe just for himself. And I was like, all right, let me see what's available. And I was like, man, you could live on your own for $2 grand. And then I saw other apartments where it was like a 2-bedroom, like literally legit 2 rooms for $2 grand.
Man, that sounds promising.
If you had to,
Like I said, I just want to give your expectation of it's not going to be big. Please, you're going to have a room. That's the only thing. All right.
Mike, if you had to pick one of them to guarantor and I took the other, which one would you pick?
Well, you have to guarantor an apartment though, not the. You don't have to guarantor. Oh, are you thinking you have to guarantor each person? Shoot, crap.
I'm making you pick between them. Who do you think is less likely to default?
I think that George is gonna screw us, but I'll take George as I got the Red Bull connection. But I think George is gonna screw us.
I agree.
Yeah. George will like go back home for like a week and decide he doesn't want to pay the rent anymore, and that's why you're getting screwed. Like Chris will at least be committed to it. Like he's like, I signed something, I got you.
Yeah. It's like I'm fucking
George
here
like,
for.
George like, I had
all.
a bad tournament. I'm out of here. I'm going back home. Like he's definitely the one that screws you.
Yeah, you can go on your own.
Oh, how's that not go through? Oh. But I think for like, I'll tell you guys right now, if you get something like that that's like literally $2 grand, I would sign a 2-year lease as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Because that's like, bro, you used to not even, like, to give you guys an idea, you couldn't even get a subpar studio for $2 grand in Manhattan.
Wow.
Yeah, like before COVID.
That's actually crazy. 100%.
Yeah,
as many years lease as you can.
I would sign as long as possible for something like that because I'm like prices like that never exist. Don't expect a big living room. You might not have a living room either. I don't know. I can't say. You have a kitchen.
Just 2 rooms? Just 2 rooms, a bathroom, and a kitchen.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna get. You might get a little living room as well, but I doubt you get a big living room. Not at that price, at least.
I'm just gonna assume no washer and dryer, right? Because I know that's a big thing in the city. Like if you do
never
get
know,
that,
man. Oh, nice goal. You never know. Sometimes you can get a washer and dryer, but don't expect like a doorman or like those types of amenities.
yeah,
Probably a walk-up too, but some of those walk-up buildings have the washer and dryer in the apartment.
Do you think these prices are gonna go back to where it was, like pre-COVID?
I mean, I don't know how long it'll take, but they're definitely going to go up 100%. Right now, also, you have a lot of leverage, which is great because there's a lot of inventory. Right when you lose leverage, everybody here is like a pro in negotiation. So, you know, but it's a great time to be a renter. I mean, Sam knows too. Sam got a good situation that he was able to negotiate throughout like moving apartments. I got a good situation moving apartments, so it's like this is definitely a good time to be moving. I was surprised how low it was, though. I was really surprised because like people want to be in New York during the summer, so usually the prices go up during the summers.
Yeah, no, I can attest to that because I'm gonna be in the city a lot during the summer. It's just such a nice place to be.
Yeah, that's what. Well, typically the best time to move for price is during the winter. There's usually a little bit lower inventory though during the winter. There's higher inventory during the summer, but the price tags are higher too. And then everything's weird right now because of COVID. But I'm just saying, like from a pricing perspective, like these types of prices, like this is like living in any big city, like where we're priced at right now. Like it's not on New York pricing really. Sam,
mine was like
guarantor, putting mine on the line.
Yeah, could you imagine? Mine was like 30% off market.
I'm trying to think. So, yeah, so like Jose's, like my editor, we got him an apartment, right? And I think he got like 38% off. The list. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because like I had to sign for him, and because he doesn't live in the country, so he was moving back to New York. I guess technically Puerto Rico is the U.S. though. But yeah, it was like I had to sign for like basically an amendment saying like, hey, or an addendum. Addendum is what it is, I guess. Basically saying like after this lease is done, prices are going way back up.
Which that lease was what, signed for 2 years?
I told that was up to him, because we were negotiating that. And I was like, I told him we should sign for as long as you want. He wanted 16 months for whatever reason, so that's what we have. But he regretted immediately after that he didn't try to go for 2 years because once he had signed, like he was like, oh, and his dad was advising him and I was advising him, and he tried to go back and try to extend it, and they were like, nah, because they already had something signed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I would recommend as long as you can go for sure. As long as you think you want to be in New York. But 2 years is pretty safe if you can get a 2 year. Oh no. Let's not lose this team. Watch the pass.
These guys have scored some pretty nice goals. Like, that goal is the standard goal, but the first couple were decent.
Well, it's because Sam decided today he doesn't want to play defense because he has company. He's trying to show out for whoever's over.
I have noticed the uptick in skill moves from Sam today. That could be a reason.
Yep. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Going for more of the showmanship. Oh, God.
Yep, there he is again.
Just want to have some fun.
Yeah, I just want to win games. We're on a streak. Oh my God, here we go.
He knows that goal. Like he knows that goal like every time. He's put the ball at the same corner every time.
All right, we're running out of time to do this. It's ours.
Nice. Okay, here we go.
Sam, that's how you score goals.
I think I've scored 2 of them today.
Yeah, because you're not playing defense.
It's off him.
Yes, that's good.
There it is.
We got time, a minute.
That was a good shot.
Oh.
Nice.
There we go.
Slide tackle? How'd that happen? Yep. Come on, George. Oh, I thought he scored it. All right. Oh no.
What a save.
All right,
It's overshot.
There we go.
We got time, plenty of time.
Nice.
Hey, let's go.
He roofed that.
That's
I'm
horrendous.
taking a chance.
Take that. Nice.
Let's go, fellas. Give us something, fellas. I'm leaking. What's going on? No. Why is he diving?
5 seconds. 5 seconds. You got to push it up.
Forward.
See them.
Yeah, give me.
At
No.
least it's a draw.
6-6, man. They really got to incorporate goal in this. What are we doing with draws?
It does seem very underwhelming, right? Like golden goal all day should be there.
Yeah.
It does seem very underwhelming in a short-sided game to leave on a draw. Very, very underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want me to send you some properties, by the way? I can do like a group chat, like WhatsApp, if you're serious.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to see it again. It all depends on what happens next year. So
I don't know how serious I am right now, but I would still like to look at them because I'm always looking ahead. So
It's cool.
I'm
Mike
not in
is
the market.
realtor expert. Fair. I mean, I've always been into real estate. I'm actually so surprised how reasonable prices are currently for Manhattan in particular. Because I reckon if you go to Brooklyn, then they might be even better.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, like Williamsburg or something, like a really nice area.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
Brooklyn.
saying. I think I would even recommend going to Williamsburg because you probably get something that is a little bigger. Well, actually, significantly bigger. And Williamsburg, I know George doesn't know where it's at, but it's one stop into Manhattan.
Wait, George, you don't
just
know?
take the L.
You don't know where Williamsburg is?
Of course I know.
What train do you get on to go to Williamsburg?
Don't ask me about trains.
Nah, I'm not good at the subway system either, bro.
All right, hold
I'm
on. Let me
terrible at it.
what direction are we going in from Manhattan? I don't even know if that's a fair question for that. I know he doesn't know where it is. I know he
Don't
doesn't.
ask me that.
Sorry, guys. Sam wasn't back there to play defense.
You mean you didn't pass to 3 open players?
Well, you're not open. If you're, we talked about this. Like, we got
No,
personnel.
man.
Like,
3 people were open. You can't just blame me when you lose the ball.
hold on. Oh, that's it. Oh, you didn't shoot it after that.
I'm spamming the circle button. Fuck, man.
Ah, shit. We're playing Messi.
Look at that.
Nice. We'll roll this. I'll do it. No way.
Oh my! I know.
I saw the peel off.
I was waiting.
Interesting. Corner kick.
There it is.
Oh, give us that.
Oh my god! It's like left to press. Oh no.
What is
we
that? I
doing?
don't like this approach. I don't like this approach at all.
These guys are like seem like they're content with 1-0.
Yeah, that was not a good sign.
Oh,
This
man,
is a
now we're
really
playing
odd
the
way of playing
lines.
Volta. Yeah, they're playing with a lot of width.
Oh my god! The freak.
Gotta keep
Oh,
possession.
okay,
Fuck
okay.
you. Unreal. I'm not trying to play champs midweek, dude.
Right? It's like I can't. I've never seen Volta played like that.
I mean, you obviously sent them with the. I don't even know what that move is called. Like with the cancel. Are you
That's. I don't know. I don't know what the initial before the. I don't even know what it's called.
like this? I don't know how.
Yeah,
I don't know what this
stutter.
is. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I guess it's like it's like a dummy almost. I don't know.
Of sorts, yeah.
Oops, sorry.
A lot of power. No, I didn't put it in the right area there.
You got Salah. Go Sam. No.
There's no shot. It's off him. Nice
Look at this
ball.
pass. Oh,
Should laid it off.
that's hittable.
That's it. Oh, come on. One on target.
Ooh,
Here we go.
interesting choice.
Go back. Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's annoying. That's so annoying. They're out of time. He's gonna have to shoot.
Yeah. How not to play Volta 1-on-1.
Definitely not an enjoyable technique to that. don't know if we've played a team that goes this wide.
Yeah, everything is like a switch. It reminds me last year of just like CDM, center back, fullback, and then switch every time in FIFA 20.
Yeah. Last year's game had a lot of like I felt I was just waiting, which is really
It
hard.
was so slow.
Yeah, it's really hard to know that that's just the reality of what's happening.
Because like this year, like you do have like that like when people constant pressure you or like press the possession loss, it is like kind of overwhelming at times. So there is that aspect where you can actually get the ball back. But like FIFA 20, there was none of that. You could not get the if somebody wanted to play possession,
you had to wait.
Yeah.
Yep. It's ours. Here.
Well, I don't even know where the ball went.
Guys
I
play
hate
it back
these guys
every time.
Like they're not even winning or drawing even right now. Hey, I like that.
He definitely like stepped like for a tackle. All right, here we go, George. Oh, I went through everyone. Here we go. Oh, man.
Celebrate on him. Come on.
A little twinkle toes.
Where's my guy going?
I earned the dirty one on that.
Yeah, go back.
Bro. Come on, guys. Like, they have to want to go forward. It is such a weird way of playing this game.
So weird.
I've never seen anything like this.
No skills, by the way. Like literally just X pass, or square.
Sam, you crowded up Rudy's space.
I got fouled, ref.
Give him a little nose slap, you know?
Nice.
Swing it back to the keeper? Yeah, thank you. Love it. Maybe another swing? Maybe another swing?
No.
It's crazy. About to break the control.
What is this guy doing on defense? Just watch the play. Like, watch how he plays defense. Up.
Oh my god, man. What is bro, this is like it's my worst nightmare, man. When I play FIFA. Hit that. Just
I'm ready.
it's a great area. Oh, of course it bounced.
Back. Yep.
Oh, come on.
How could he enjoy playing like this? I don't get it.
I mean, I generally think like these guys, their goal today was just to make every game frustrating for the other person.
It's just such an odd way, though, to turn on a console with that as something that you're ambitious about.
Gamers nowadays, I just don't get it sometimes.
I got on today to play negative football with no additional reward. Like, there's no reward. Like, they don't get anything more for this.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a struggle. It's like, at least, and not that I justify it, but at least during the weekend league, people are playing for these wins where they've already invested a certain amount of time where they can receive potentially more rewards.
Mm-hmm.
And angering Mike where he's breaking stuff. Sam's gotten real quiet. What's going on, Sam?
I'm on mute.
He's entertaining other people right now.
No, it's more. Also, look at Jack Grimsey's latest tweet. It is. It pretty much summarizes being an Arsenal fan. George, you should see this as well. I'll throw it in. I'll throw it in chat, in Twitch chat.
Oh, it's like clockwork at this point. You are here. Win games late in the year when top four is out of reach. Enter the season with high hopes. Get off the hot start. This is our year. Begin losing, drawing games against average teams mid-table by February.
See it, George?
Why is this so accurate? Oh, yeah, I just saw it.
Oh my days.
Why is this so
Big
accurate?
money and
So true.
it's so interesting because Arsenal has such like obviously rich history that the fans, of course, have pretty big expectation, but I don't know if it's realistic expectation. So it's fun to see Arsenal Twitter. Oh, these guys are serious business. When they got the double tank tops, that's a problem. Okay.
Oh, there's walls.
At least they don't have Rude hold it. We haven't done very well versus Rude. I think one of their players is not playing. Oh, there he is. Here? Shoot. Okay,
Oh.
okay. Nice pass. Uh-huh. Okay, George Best.
What's this guy's
Good
name?
tackle.
Oh, pass the ball.
Huh? Alright, Best again. Okay. Huh?
It's just been up and down.
Yeah.
Straight mistakes from both sides.
Oh,
How
a
do you
little
get the
self
ball?
pass. That was nice. Big block line. How? How does that disrupt? That's so well timed.
Guy likes playing with himself.
I think there's only two of them playing, so they gotta do what they gotta do. Chill, Sabio.
Aw.
Hey, we got a
Now,
shot.
your shin.
The return.
Nah, that's ours. No way. No way. Come on. This keeper is not getting beat, right? It's coming out well. That's ours. That's ours. That was dumb by them to stand. Get up. Get up. Get up. Oof. Oh.
Oh no.
Good
It's a
foul.
I like
foul.
that foul. We'll take that one. We'll take that one. They gotta shoot. Interesting first half. I don't know if we've had one like this either.
A no with probably 2 shots in total from both teams.
Yeah, I think like these guys defended pretty well with the goalkeeper. Actually, they timed a lot of the runouts pretty well, and then offensively, you could tell they've got the 2 leak outs. Remember when Arsenal being fourth was a meme? Now I'd give anything to consistently finish fourth. Fair.
miss the days when Arsenal were actually a good team.
It's just funny to me how like Arsenal fans for years talked about like Wenger wasn't good enough and all that kind of stuff. I feel like Wenger was great and like he was working with like scraps like every year. Like Arsenal never really went out and spent like huge money on players like United or City or Chelsea did. I mean, yeah, they had Ozil and they grabbed Sanchez, but those weren't like, 60, 70, 80 million. And I think he was overachieving every year.
He did. The problem is like we started saying Wenger out when his performances dropped. But if you're going to get rid of one of the greatest managers in Premier League history, then you have to replace him with one of the greatest managers. But it's that simple. Like you can't replace a world-class manager.
You sound quiet, by the way, Sam.
Yeah, I've turned it way down so the background noise is killed and I can stay off mute. Is it too quiet?
No, you're
It was
good.
a
You're
little too
good.
quiet before. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll lean in. But like my point is like
Hey,
we ultimately replaced one of
You
the best
missed it.
managers
I
in the
can hear you
world with
missed it.
subpar managers.
Honestly, if I knew that we'd be complaining about not even getting Europa League, I'd take top 4 finishes every single year.
Top 4 in FA Cup.
Yeah, honestly, I would if I knew the next 2 years would be like the next 3-4 years without Wenger would be like this.
It's
Well,
like
I think people got tired of where you were achieving, and so they had bigger ambition, but they didn't realize they could achieve worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, my point is if you do that, you don't bring in a manager who wins the UEFA Cup every year, which is what we did with Emery. Right? You bring in one of the best managers in the world, which Arsenal is a club of a stature that could have attracted back then. You know what I mean?
See,
You're welcome.
like Arsenal, like listen, you're kind of going through right now probably what United went through with when Fergie retired, but the level at which Fergie was at, the drop off has now been like third, fourth Europa League some years, right? Your guys' level was fourth for a while, but that's because Wenger was working with scraps. Your owners are not properly backing any of your managers, and your fall off is now, well, we're going to be in the Europa League a few years because your level was fourth pretty much almost every year. And then now this year it's been the worst that it's ever been, which is, probably going to be outside the top, European spots. So it's kind of like that where like United replaced Fergie with a guy that just clearly wasn't ready to manage at that level. And Unai Emery showed he wasn't capable of managing at that level either. And with the amount of pressure that the fans do have, like, you can't appoint these guys. Now, to be fair, I don't know how many other managers in the world can actually manage at that level. You probably have a select 7 or 8, but it's tough though, especially it's all about the backing. Wenger was making things work with, certain players, and then other managers that are not at his level can't get that same out of their players. And it's the same with like United. Sir Alex could get things done with, Ji-Sung Park or, like Darren Fletcher, like any of these like really good role players, he got the best out of them. Other managers since then, Ollie I think has done really good with his man management, but the previous managers before that weren't getting the best out of his players, and it showed. They weren't at the level of Sir Alex Ferguson.
I agree. But I don't know, at least like United showing like signs of progress.
I mean, you spend $1 billion. I'd hope at some point some of these work out.
I mean, it's not like Arsenal didn't spend any
A
money.
little light billion.
Yeah, $1 billion of the club's revenue, by the way, not the Glazers' money. They haven't spent a single dime on of their money on the club. They've spent what the club generates because of the name it brings.
We're
Yeah,
still undefeated, boys.
Arsenal did spend money, but you also haven't put people in place that actually know what they're doing. Same as United, right?
Yeah, just
So you're,
well, what's worrying is like the next like year or two without like Champions League or Europa League. It's just like what big manager or big players ever going to sign for them at least next year. I wouldn't. I wouldn't go there if I was like a Jack Grealish or something.
If you had the opportunity right now to either play for Leicester or play for Arsenal, I'm going to Leicester all day.
I am
Like
too.
Really?
Yeah.
100%. Their club's in such a better situation. They were supposed to make top four last year. If it wasn't for COVID and that whole lockdown, they would have gone Champions League. Because United got the break and Rashford came back, Pogba came back all from the injuries, and we started tearing it up. And we still had to beat them on the last day 2-1 for that to even be or 2-0 for that to even be a reality. So they messed
Leicester's
up.
got a fun team too. Like they've got a lot of young talent that doesn't always get the.
Can I play my role here though? Like the average Premier League player makes more money outside of football than he does within football. And so like the sports business person, the agent would never tell someone to go to Leicester. You go to a world-renowned club in one of the biggest cities in the world, and your additional compensation is going to be so much higher. So from a financial standpoint, Chris, I'm not talking football. I agree with you, football. From a financial standpoint, that's why we'll always have certain players pick something like an Arsenal over a Leicester.
But I was just gonna add that in because like nobody wants to be like that's like East Meadowlands going to Leicester. Like, it's not gonna be like a big player's first choice.
You gotta also think about it from this point of view as well, as like that's how you develop, and United have definitely done this as well, as you develop mercenaries, players that only are coming to your club for the money. Like, so for example, Willian, right? Willian does not care about Arsenal. All right, this guy, like, I can tell you right now, does not care. Like, you know, I remember there was a little meme going around. They lost like a huge game or something, and like all the Arsenal players were talking to the fans how like, oh, they're so sorry or whatever. And then William put on his like Instagram story that he was watching Lupin, which was like a Netflix show or something.
Yeah.
So like
in French.
Yeah. The guy just does not care, right? So like that's how you develop mercenaries at the club. If you start because like that's what you're gonna get, right? You're gonna get players that are like, well, if I'm not going for the football reasons, I'm going to be more popular, and I'm going for the money. And that's how you develop people that just don't focus on football really, and it's going to drive the fans crazy because I've seen it with United, you know. Sanchez got his payday, and he was out. You know, Di Maria didn't care, was getting paid. You know, I've seen it many times already. You know, where just players do not care about the club. You gotta be careful with who you sign because of that. Because I know Arsenal fans it might get worse. Like generally, like with the players, depending on who you sign. You know, you got to sign players that are you know want to play for the club.
I agree. I agree with everything you're saying, but I don't think it's the full story. And what I mean by that is like players are like anyone else, right? They're more complicated than it's only about sports and only about money. So like Petr Cech and Willian didn't want to take their kids out of London schools. So they were looking for a paycheck, yes, but Willian could have had whatever 150 a week from Arsenal, or he could have had 250 a week from China. But he took Arsenal. Look, I wish we never signed him. I hate the fact that we did. But he took that because he didn't want to take his kids out of London schools. So
you weren't feeling that way early on that you hated that you signed him.
No, I didn't. I told you from day one that he was a terrible expenditure of money. But my point is that we as fans sometimes forget these guys are human, and just like we make decisions on jobs for multiple reasons, so do they. I agree, Chris. Money is the number one driver for most of these people, and secondly is the football reasons, but then the third is like the family, the personal reasons.
Yeah.
And Arsenal will always have the fact that they're in London for our benefit.
Yeah.
And we do use that a lot.
But think about it from this though. Chelsea's going to their second or their third No. I think they're fourth. Is their fourth UCL final? Or is this their third? They lost to United. This is their third, right? If they somehow beat City and in a one-off, you can't listen. I know you beat them, right? Fair play, but you never know in a one-off game, right? So I wouldn't say City are clear favorites. They should be favorites based on talent alone, but listen, anything can happen, right? if they win their second UCL, surely, like, the whole, like, because I think Arsenal is the biggest club in London, right? And because of the history that they've had. But if Chelsea win their second UCL, I think that's huge. Like, I remember I was watching a debate with the kickoff. They were talking about that, like, who owns Manchester? Who owns, London right now? Definitely ain't Spurs, right? And I think City still have a long way to go, but it's trending in that direction, the way that United and Arsenal are going, over the last, like, 10 years.
I mean, it depends. Ultimately, like, it depends how you weight it. You're judging football, you're judging business, right? And you're judging fan size. Those are the three things that you're judging for who owns a city, right? I would argue Tottenham does not win on any of those three. Chelsea's the most profitable, Arsenal's the biggest brand, and Chelsea's the best of soccer right now. So I don't think Tottenham's I would argue Chelsea's the biggest club in London right now, and it pains me to say that. But I don't think it's Tottenham. Man United is still the biggest club, in my opinion, just because of how much bigger their fan base is globally than Man City. Clearly, you're losing on the money side.
Also, it's not like
on the side.
It's not it's not fun to be like a City fan. Other than them being good, there's no like a lot of their history of success. Everything's new. Like City went from like being a top 10 club to being like a top, top 4 club every year. Not even maybe top 2 or 3, but it was all bought in. Which, I mean, that might just be inevitable of what's happening with the future of football. Just everything's about money anyway. What a ball! What a finish! But but it's like there's not like United has a lot of history, especially going throughout the years, but they weren't always successful either. I mean, even if you took Fergie, for example, Fergie's first, I think it was his first 3 years, he didn't have major success.
Yeah, there was actually talk of him getting sacked if he didn't win the FA Cup final. What a terrible decision that would have been.
I'd also argue, like, when you talk business, you talk about making money, not having money. So I would argue that Man United are bigger than Man City at making money because they're a bigger brand. We make more, Man City just has more because they don't have a terrible ownership that milks the club dry, right? So I'd say Man United actually win on 2 of the 3 fronts. Versus
the only thing they win. Listen, what City are doing, right? Oh, they are They are so. Their goals. Listen, those guys, Mansour and they literally had a plan in 2008. When they literally did that huge investment in City, and they said, "All right, we're gonna make this club. We're gonna invest in the surrounding areas, right? Because that side of Manchester, from what I had been hearing, was kind of run down, and now it's beautiful, right? And then look at their facilities, right? The Etihad, their training facilities are incredible. The academy, right? So they've developed, all of that, right? And then they had a plan from 2008 was like, we're going to get Pep Guardiola, right? Because they literally knew that he was going to be available when he was. And he was supposed to come in 2012, apparently, before he went to Bayern. But something came up for some reason, right? So they had this huge plan. The Glazers and United and Arsenal and Kroenke, they have no plan. Their only plan is like, okay, we're going to make all this money. And, like, everyone talks about how, like, Woodward knows how to make money and, whoever at Arsenal knows how to do that, right? Listen, the brands sell themselves. It's not impressive you make $600 million in revenue. Listen, you could have put me there and I would have secured those sponsorship sales. You don't think Adidas wants to freaking sponsor Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world? Like, it just doesn't work like that. It's easy. Like, sure, maybe a little skill in that, but listen, the clubs, the names of the clubs will sell themselves. I mean, Arsenal have the biggest match day revenue in every league. They have the most. United make $600 million a year. It's also really
expensive to go to an Arsenal game. Like, Emirates is very expensive.
Right, and that's because since the new stadium had been
built.
Right?
Arsenal's always been super high priced from my experience. Like, I've been to a lot of football stadiums in England. I think Arsenal's the worst for prices. I mean, even Stamford Bridge is pretty expensive, and I think Arsenal still got that covered all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they said that they're keeping the prices the same, whether they don't have any international league football. So that's pretty crazy that even if they don't make Europa or Champions League, they'll still have the same prices next year.
What is it, like 120 for a game or something? 130? It's probably something like that.
It's kind of
Depends where you sit, but it's just there is no cheap ticket. But yeah,
It doesn't
you
let
should
me
probably
pass.
expect this. You should probably expect to spend at least $80
Yeah.
to get in there.
And listen, most football fans, they can't afford that, but they do because they love the sport so much, right? So like when you see something like this happening, like it hurts them more than anybody, And also, there was a viral video that went on a couple of years ago about how a Liverpool fan, was talking about like everything is now like the owners of these clubs, they don't care about the traditional football fan anymore. They care about the tourist, right? The guy that's coming in from New York, that's there for his first game. He's in the team shop. He's spending a ton of money at the game. That's who they're really focused on now. And these owners don't like, especially the American ones. They don't care about the traditional match going fan, the season ticket holder, right?
It's the same as American sports. Your revenue driven is 90% of your revenue comes from the 10% top spenders.
Well, I would
That's
also
like
say
how it works.
they care about the big dog, and then also I would say the season ticket holders, but not the in between, because the season ticket holder, they're guaranteed that money, right? Like they're guaranteed that
mate.
you're committed to go to the
I'm sorry to correct, but like trust the guy who works in this field. You will.
No, but you don't think they
one-
care about like the
No, you
reoccurring
make
person?
more money off one rich guy at one Champions League game than you make off a standard season ticket holder. So why would I
Right.
care about the season ticket holders? Like, don't get me wrong, they're not going to.
No, because not every game's a Champions
care.
League game. But I'm just saying,
But-
like you still got to have people there. Your fans got to be there on a consistent basis, right? Like, I mean,
But
you don't think United cares
Chris's
about like
point-
their waiting list of? Go ahead.
No, because it's a waiting list. Chris's point on sponsorship is exactly the same point on season tickets. It's about 40% of the stadium. It's the cheaper seats, and they're guaranteed to sell it for 20 years to come. The waiting list for Arsenal is like 6 years long or something crazy like that. So it's guaranteed revenue. Do they care about it? 100%, Mike. Of course they care about it. It's revenue. But my point is that it's a fraction of what the game day revenue actually is. What we call the prawn cocktail brigade in the UK now is what these clubs care about. That's where the monetization is. Every single stadium refurb is about how can we get comfier, wider seats and more boxes in, because we can make more money off them in one game than we can make out of our season ticket holders all season. Because the season tickets are going to be there and they'll give atmosphere
Chris, ready
and
up.
balance.
It keeps telling me, it keeps backing me out. It's doing that glitch again. I'm going to leave and you have to reinvite.
All right, sorry.
All right.
We're listening,
Oh,
Sam. I
fine,
just was like, keep going.
No,
No,
keep
I
going.
know.
I like this.
Cool. So, and look, I know this because I have a lot of friends who work at some of these major clubs, and I know their books. It's the same as it's moving more and more to an American model, which is courtside seats at the NBA are your most important seats. The nosebleeds at $30, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
They will go because you've built a brand, and they have a team selling it. But it's normally the 22-year-old spotty kid straight out of an MBA that is selling it. The guy selling the courtside and the boxes is the 45-year-old exec who's been there for 20 years and has built relationships. So you're investing more money in both your marketing and your people for the higher tickets naturally. And soccer, which historically was terraces with no seats, no boxes, is just being redesigned in the American way. That's what's happening.
There was a decision a couple of years ago, and this happens in all American sports too. Pretty much the Islanders had playoffs, right? Hockey team. And they had the opportunity to go to the Coliseum, which had less box seats, less really expensive seats. And they said, you get the first round and you play at the Coliseum, which is lower revenue. The second round is in the Barclays Center. And the reason they did that was because they would make more money off the seats, the box seats, and they'd make more money in general. And that's the only reason why they did it. It's all about, the most expensive things for them.
I agree. But and look, this is important. Mike, I sent you an invite, bud. This is important for two reasons, right? And I am a sports fan, born and raised, used to be a season ticket holder in Arsenal. You know me, Mike. I love every sport. And at its core, the fans are the most important thing. But if I want to keep watching the best league in the world, I need these teams to keep making money to compete and bringing in the best talent, right? Like, this is the problem. Like, now I know that there's a balance, and the balance is keeping it a fan-friendly sport while also making enough money that they can carry on this madness of a expenditure to bring the best players, and we don't like slowly lose the Premier League to Spain, to China, to the MLS in the future.
It's interesting they bring up losing the league too, because you could say back in the day, like if you go like later 2000s, that Serie A actually had the best teams. You know, maybe not the best league, but like they could have had potential to bring the talent in, and they didn't bring it in, and they also didn't transfer to viewers outside of Italy to a certain degree. Like they didn't adjust as quick with social media and so forth, and they lost a real holding position. Like there's really no reason Serie A is not top 2 league, and it's not. But if you look through like how good they were, if you're going back into like later 2000s,
I'd even say
the reason the issue is the financial insecurities of Italy. There was widespread corruption, and they took money out because it was the best league. You had Edgar Davids and Clarence Seedorf and the amazing Dutch team of the 90s all moved there, right? It was the Maldini era. The best players were going
the
there.
Ballon d'Ors.
They were paying
the Ballon d'Ors.
Exactly. Kaká won Ballon d'Or while he was there.
Yeah, so they were all going there. The problem is these owners sucked all the money out of it. They couldn't reinvest. So as these upstarter leagues started coming, they weren't winning the global brand anymore. No one in China fucking supports Juve. They all support Man United or Liverpool.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of like, and again, the next level of our business conversation is most of the money now is not coming domestic anymore. So it's the race to global fans in emerging markets. So that's the problem with Serie A and the death of it, is corruption and mismanagement and the lack of global brand building.
Yeah, there was an article that came out in 2013 that there was like, I don't know how they tracked it and all that kind of stuff, but United pretty much have like a couple 100 million fans, couple 100 million, and that was in 2013. I can't imagine that number is the same. That's got to be way more, you know? And it's because they do all these tours in Australia. They do all these tours in China. I remember waking up at like 5 a.m. to watch Dortmund versus United in a preseason game. You know, Man City United was supposed to play that year as well. India, it's huge as well. You know, Africa is huge. You know, like just literally continents, right? They have a global appeal, and like that's what it is for all these clubs. Like that's why, like I said, for United, it doesn't matter who's in charge of the club. They're going to make that money regardless. You know, the name itself is too big now. It's like the Lakers. It's you know, Madrid, Barca, like all of these clubs, man.
I missed it.
All these clubs
are where it's not higher. Sorry to interrupt, Mike.
Just touch it. Just touch it soft. Barely touch it.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. Keep going because I agree with everything you're saying.
No, so it's like, you know, all these clubs, Arsenal. I even think, like, if you think about it in, like, 5 years' time, you know, say City win another 2-3 Prems, maybe they actually get 1 or 2 Champions Leagues, they're going to be at that level where it's like, you know, we make fun of City, they have no fans. Listen, let's be real. They have a lot of fans, and it's growing massively because they're putting so much money in.
For winners. Yeah, but also winners. Like,
it's the Golden State area, right? Like, think about Golden State Warriors, right? How many fans they had or have now. You know.
Well, also it's like you got talent. It's like I'm not a City supporter, but am I going to watch Manchester City play? For sure.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Exactly. As a neutral, I would like if I'm not a United fan, right? And let's say I watch other leagues. I'm 100% watching City every week because the football that they play and the players that they have. You know what I mean? Like it's like in basketball. I'm always watching Golden State. I might not be a Golden State fan. But I'm not as passionate about, like, basketball is slowly becoming one of my favorite sports. But right now, I can appreciate good basketball, right? I want to watch Golden State. I want to watch, you know, Miami last year. I don't care, you know. I want to watch good things.
I think with basketball is super individual driven too, and the NBA in particular. So, like, you don't have to be a fan of a team at all, but if you're a fan of a player, like, I always follow Kobe. Like, if Kobe were to lead the Lakers, I'm following Kobe, not the Lakers. Like, I was never a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
But Kobe played for me.
You have the LeBron guys, right? Like people just go where LeBron goes.
But that's real common because they make such a difference. Like one player on a basketball court can do so much for the entirety of the team. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's one of it's I guess I could say it in like it's one of the most individual team sports you can have. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
baseball you can't do that. Hockey you cannot do that. Football you definitely can't do that with all the
Is there
positions.
another sport like that you think, Sam? That's that individual? Like, I mean, one NBA player can change the whole game
I mean,
completely.
think about Lakers Knicks last night.
No,
If
I'd
I
say.
mean, you know,
Sorry, go for it, Mike. Go for it, Chris. You can
no,
finish.
no, even last night, like Lakers Knicks, like Lakers don't got like if they don't have AD, like Anthony Davis, I mean they didn't win that game. And he didn't even have a great game. He had like 20 points. He was like 8 for 23 or whatever. But it's the presence of that player,
Obviously,
that
defensively,
caliber.
he's huge. Yeah.
He played lockdown defense down the stretch for the Lakers, right? Knicks would have easily won that game if not for AD. So it. I don't think there's any other sport that's like that. I really don't.
No, the closest thing is soccer and its non-domestic fan bases. So Ronaldo or Messi, they will drive viewership ultimately in a team in the expansion markets for soccer. So in like China, India, the Americas. I think at its core, look, there was a really good question. Sean's like, NJ Starkiller in chat was basically like, why is that even an issue? The American model in soccer. Sean, it isn't an issue. It is tradition versus change. What I mean by
Yes.
that, at its core, soccer is a sport of the people in Europe, and I mean that in several ways. I mean in the fact that it used to represent religion, working class. Like teams used to be created for such crazy reasons. Like Arsenal, Woolwich Arsenal, we were the armory we were the army's basically team in the working class in the amateur era. So it has like an amateur history that people are very, very tied to. Two, unlike here, there is a path to pro that that there is the dream, right? In America, you'll know by the age of 12, 13 that you're not going pro in a sport. Like you may not know that you're definitely going pro, but you will know if you're definitely not going pro, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, you
people
know if you
like
have a
Mike,
chance. You know if you have a
people
chance.
like
Yeah.
Mike, who was good enough to go to college and get a scholarship, knew that he wasn't making the NBA. He
Yeah,
knew his
yeah,
ceiling
yeah.
in his teen years,
Yeah.
right? Whereas
I knew that
us,
I could play college level by like 13 years old. That I would have the
yeah,
potential to do that, and then that I could maybe play at a high college level if I grew. Because like I was like in eighth grade I was 5'10", but I was already dunking at 5'10". So like I was a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
amazing eighth grader, but I knew that if I didn't get to like 6'5" or 6'6", with my structure of skills, there wouldn't be a chance for me to play like a really high level D1 basketball or something. I'd be like
Yeah.
I knew then I'd be like probably a D2 player by norm, like, and I had that potential, but I knew I wouldn't go beyond it.
so the point I'm making, so the reason why I'm saying this is the point I'm making is yes, if I was going to be Ronaldo, I would have known by that time. But I could have been Ian Wright. I could have been Vardy. I played college. Maybe I started playing
Yeah.
semi-pro. Maybe I got paid a couple of £100 and a pint of beer at the weekend. And then maybe I'd move up to League Two. Then maybe I'd get discovered and maybe I'd be the next Jamie Vardy, Ian Wright. There's so many storylines of like rags to riches players that Ian Wright was a bricklayer till he was 23.
Yeah, I was
Right?
gonna
He
say like
literally he went
he
pro so late. So
yeah,
so the
he did
problem,
an
Sean,
interview.
is
Go ahead, sorry. I'm gonna build off this when
sorry,
you're done.
just a quick one on why Europeans care so much. It's not just because it's tradition. It's because they have grown up with a sport where that sport is tied so close to what you would call the American dream. The American dream is coming to America, making money, sending it back as an immigrant. The European dream is normally football, right? As a
Yeah.
kid, you either want to be a singer or you want to be a footballer or whatever. So it's so tied to a culture. It's the same reason why I'd ask you, why would socialism never work? Why will Bernie Sanders never get elected? It's because the American dream and capitalism is so tied to American culture. In Europe, the rags to riches, the plucky kid from the neighborhood. Why does everyone love Emil Smith Rowe when he's not good enough to start in Arsenal's team right now? Because he was born round the corner. He grew up in Hayland. He came through the ranks. He's a local lad. That is very European. And that's tied to the question of why people hate this American model. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, we always want to believe that that everybody has equal chances to go and do different things. like even from an American end, I think you want to believe it, but with sport in general, you'll know, like Sam was saying, you'll know pretty early on, and people will also invest in your potential. So like if they see this guy's like, oh man, this dude is a crazy athlete, you'll get more chances because they're investing in potential versus if somebody's maybe really skilled, but you're like, damn, he's undersized or he doesn't have certain like intangibles that we're looking for or whatever, you're going to get less attention. It doesn't mean you can't play or that you're not going to have a chance to make this happen, but to touch on what Sam's saying with like the dream of anybody can do it if you grind it out. I saw an interview is what I was going to say with Ian Wright was interviewing. Who's the center midfielder for Leeds?
Dallas.
Who?
What, a British guy?
Dallas.
Yeah, British guy.
Was it? Oh,
Harrison.
was it? No. Was it Phillips? Calvin
Phillips. Yeah, he was interviewing Phillips, and it was really interesting. They went for a walk, and it was where like Calvin Phillips was from, and he was training, like trying to become a pro, like as a first team, but he was still playing in the Sunday league there. You know, but it was an interesting interview because it also reconnected with Ian Wright as being like Ian Wright was kind of just playing with his boys throughout all these years of trying to become like a pro player, playing semi-pro and et cetera. Whereas like there's no way, or it's so uncommon in the U.S. system in any regard that you would be able to go from like, let's say you're one of the best guys in the neighborhood at 22 and somehow get yourself into a pro anything.
Yeah.
Even if you had the abilities, like you're not going to get the look. There's no look for you.
There's in the U.S. it's like I don't know. I feel like it's a very like you have a couple year window where you're gonna pretty much like this is it for you. Like there's no coming back. You're either doing this or you're doing doctor, lawyer, whatever you want to do besides sports.
For
right?
sport, your window is like between 14 to 17 normally.
Yeah.
Because like at 18. We've already decided where people are going to school often a lot of the time. So like it's kind of like – and there's exceptions here. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. But like generally speaking, like especially if you're trying to go to a big school, you don't just pop up in the scene at like 19, 20 years old and now you're ready to roll.
Yeah, and let me give you one more, Starkiller, because I just saw your last comment. I'll give you one more thing. So I've talked about the personal, the emotional, the attachment to sport, right? Which ultimately – we live in a capitalistic world, so who gives a shit, right? You could argue. So let me give you the business reason why it struggles. Let's take every American sport, okay? They all own the league that they are in. So this is going to link back to the Super League now. So they're all in the league. Fucking beautiful tackle. They're all own the league. So what I mean by that is ignore basketball, baseball, and hockey. They play so many games. That's why they don't sell out arenas. Let's just focus on NFL right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars can get away without selling out their arena 16 times a game because they own 132th of the league. So they are getting paid on that media rights deal. That massive Pepsi sponsorship of the NFL, they are getting paid on it. Every dime the NFL makes goes to the team's post expenses. That's how it works. Now, flip to soccer, and let's just use Arsenal and let's use the Cronkies. So the Cronkies are used with the LA Rams that they don't have to rely 100% on team revenue to make money because they're going to get 1/32nd of the league earnings. In Arsenal, you're getting a very small payout for TV rights, and it's also not based on, it's not an equal share. You get it based on how many of your games are on TV. So Arsenal are getting worse and worse because they're getting fewer games on TV. So you put more pressure on the team revenue streams because there isn't a league revenue stream. So Kroenke has to milk the fans more for Arsenal than he does with the Rams, right? Because the NFL has a payment structure. Or Colorado, thank you.
Or Denver. He's got all of them. He's got like 3 sports teams.
He does, yeah. And that's why people hate it, because ultimately the burden is on the fans to make the money because your main source of league revenue, so your main source of revenue is coming from the team, not the league. So I got to jack up prices. I got to charge more for a beer. I've got to sell more merchandise. Sure, I've got sponsorships, and sure, I've got an allocation of the TV rights, but it's not the American model. And that's the business reason why it's screwing over soccer. Now,
you could. Oh no, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
The last point I'll make there, and then I will shut up because I'm like hogging this. Is where the Super League came from. If they've positioned it correctly, the idea of the Super League was actually to put the financial strain off the teams and stop milking the fans. Weirdly enough, so the Super League potentially would have led to cheaper ticket prices and cheaper merchandise because there would have been guaranteed revenue, right? That's what potentially would have happened. But obviously,
In theory, I think greed would have kicked in either way there.
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
I have a feeling.
I'm giving you theory. Business theory.
Thing is,
that's the business reason.
There's also other things in American sports too. Like you think about it from like baseball's perspective with the luxury tax. You know, if the Yankees want to go above the luxury tax, which I think is maybe 190 million or something, right? They gotta pay all that money that they go above the luxury tax to if they want to improve their team. They have to send that money to the league's worst revenue like teams, pretty much the Oakland A's, the Tampa Bay Rays. Those type of teams are getting benefited, and that's why the American system is pretty much, we have a college system where if you're bad, you get the first overall pick or you get a really good chance at it. In Europe, you don't get that. You're bad, you're out. You ain't making enough money. You're getting relegated, right? You're losing a lot of freaking money by doing that. In the U.S., it's about parity. That's the big word. MLS is a single entity. A lot of these leagues are, where it's pretty much the league is the biggest thing. It's the be all end all. Whereas in around the world in all these Europe leagues, it's like, well, listen, it's our club. Like we got to protect this as much as we can. Whereas in the U.S. sports, it's more so we need to protect the big before we, it's more like, the league over the clubs or the franchises, and that's why they try to create parity because, it's all about trying to, get everybody to try and win. That's why you have the Houston Astros, losing 4 or 5 straight years, but now they've got all these big draft picks and then they won World Series. Or the Chicago Cubs being bad and then they won the World Series. Or the Philadelphia 76ers getting all those number 1 overall picks and eventually working out. You have examples in all sports where, in American sports where you could just go from, 0 to hero to, for your team. So it's just such a different system. And I feel like a lot of the European owners or a lot of the American owners of the Super League teams were really thinking, one, financially, because they didn't want to have to, like, based on sporting merit, make more money as, they didn't want to have to make more money through sporting merit. They wanted to just have a guaranteed amount of money coming in every year, which they said was like 325 million was going to be for every Super League team that was in there, right? So they had a American system in place, and I think I think a lot of the guys that were not American that were in this Super League, I think they were kind of drawn to the idea of like, well, think about it from Barca's point of view. They're in debt. Think about Madrid. They're doing a new stadium. They need money, right? Think about Juve. They are in a bad situation right now through financially. So all these clubs were all thinking about financials really when it came to that decision.
Yeah. So good questions. Sean.
Left ground.
Left ground. Okay. Good point, Sean. What I would say is, I'm bringing a keeper out. What I'd say to that is, yes, it's great if you are the Oakland. It's great if you're the Oakland Raiders. It is not great if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're telling me if the NFL was an open, like, promotion relegation, the NFL, and they said, I'm going to pick 24 teams, or even 32 teams, they probably wouldn't pick the Jacksonville Jaguars. There'd probably be a fucking CFL team that they would pick over the Jaguars. So my point is, yes, it sounds like a lovely thing if you're one of those top teams that guarantees a spot. But then you lose the magic of Leicester, who came out of nowhere to win the Premier League. Then you lose the magic of Nottingham Forest, which used to be one of the greatest teams in Europe, disappearing into obscurity. That, in sport, you lose all these storylines. So it is a nice model, but that model requires a closed league with no promotion and relegation. And if you have that, you just lose some really exciting parts of soccer.
Also, quick point on that as well. The American leagues were built on a foundation. The European leagues were built on a certain foundation as well. those Americans tried to disrupt that foundation. Could you imagine if we allowed foreign investment, and it can't happen in our current structure because everything is, like I said, it's single entity. The league is more important than each individual franchise. It's so if imagine that happened here where we had a foreign influence, trying to tell us how we should do things on our leagues. Listen, this isn't our sport, We do not have over 100 plus years of history like the European leagues do. You cannot go to them and try to just change the whole football pyramid, what they've built over 100 years, what that's meant to each individual fan, their families, like it passed down through generations. You just can't do that, We'd have 100% of problem with that, by the way.
He tried.
Yeah, I know he tried doing the head thing. We'd have a problem if somebody told us what to do, for how our leagues are working.
Yeah, I mean, look, everything's easier when you're building from scratch, right? The problem is you've built an entire ecosystem around a specific model, and then to suddenly change the model completely is a pretty tough one. Because the point FIFA Brit just made was the Europa Super League wasn't replacing it. It wasn't a brand choosing to evolve, right? It wasn't the Premier League suddenly saying, you know what, we're actually not going to have any promotion every year, and we're only going to have the bottom team of the Premier League play the top team of the Championship in a one-off game to make promotion. Right? Then you've got someone that exists with equity, with history, changing. The Super League was, we're going to come on top and we're just going to build this new league. And if it fucks off existing leagues, who gives a shit? Right? So it would kill the UCL. It would kill the Europa League. So that's the bit that was really interesting about the Super League is I would have been fascinated if it was an idea that came out of UEFA, right? It would have been a very different conversation at that point.
Yeah. And going back to my point as well, it's like, if the European leagues that were founded on promotion, relegation, and based on sporting merit, I wonder if you had to start those leagues from scratch now, would they still have those plans in place? I don't know if they would, right? I just think it's been something you just can't. The football pyramid and what it's meant over 100 years, I just don't think they can get rid of that, and I don't think it ever will. But I also do think that these owners, they're not done yet. I do think they got something else coming. And also, I don't know if you saw the Champions League proposal for 2024. It's not that much better, if we're being honest.
I don't know, man. It's a fascinating situation to be in. But as long as grassroots soccer leads to pro soccer more than grassroots basketball leads to pro basketball, you're going to struggle to implement an Americanized model.
Mm-hmm.
Chris keeps saying it. The pyramid is the right word.
Something I want to add on the youth side that's a little bit different, though. Outside of, unfortunately, and this is something that soccer gets a lot of hate for in the U.S., but in any of the other sports, you don't have to have money, though, to play at the highest level.
Yep.
For our youth development. If you have potential as a basketball player or as an American football player or something like that, you'll get the opportunity, you'll get the looks. It's just going to happen when you're young. You know what's happening sooner than later, and you don't get a long term you don't get a lot of time to develop. And it's really unfortunate, though, for, let's say you're a late growth spurt hitter. That really sucks if you wanted to do American football or something, because it's so important that you're so physical, so strong, so fast. Your size plays a huge factor. That if you let's say you got you started developing when you were 17, 18, it might be too late for you to get the look to go to the next level, But our youth development is good in terms of all the sports outside of soccer, basically. In terms of you don't need to have money at all in order to have opportunity.
Right. Take it from my point of view. I played travel hockey, right? I played hockey from 6 years old to 18. Just to play on a team at a higher level, my parents had to pay $3,000 to $5,000 a year. Just initial.
That's wild. Yeah, so that means hockey's like soccer
insane.
then here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you have
no,
to pay for all the training and stuff like that. It was really expensive.
yes,
Where like
right.
I didn't have to play for basketball terms, pay for basketball terms. I was good enough where they're all the sponsored teams, and I could get a spot
You're
on the
welcome,
team.
George.
Now, how much playing time I got and things like that would all vary, though. You know, like
Yeah,
what happened, what was this, but to get to a tournament covered, entering the tournament covered, jerseys covered, shoes covered. You know, like you have the ability to be here, you're here, but. Um, but yeah, like it was the only thing is there's no guarantee of getting it. Like you didn't have any negotiation room as to what happens. They have coaches that decide what's going to happen. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Starkiller, you're right. Most sports in America have become that. What a pass. However, like my friend Aaron Ryan, who's the commissioner of the new OTE, the Overtime Elite League, there are
Mm-hmm.
people trying to break that here. So the Overtime Elite League is trying to break AAU, and AAU is pay to win, and it's also like your coach makes a big difference. So players move
Yep.
around to get the right coach to get put in front of the right people, and then
It's
they're
super
forced to
political.
travel
Yeah.
and play shit ton of tournaments and way unhealthy amount of games. So what OTE is trying to do is take those players, identify them, pay them a salary as a teenager, educate them, give them resources, and basically break their system. Basically, more like a soccer academy in Europe. Give them a bit of work money and a bit of education, and look after their health a little bit more. So I think it is.
Well, how does that work? You can't play in
Let
college then, or
let
what?
let me
Correct.
chime in
Yeah,
there.
you lose your
NCAA
NCAA
basketball,
eligibility.
exactly. That's gonna kill the whole NCAA model, where we talk about March Madness, which is a huge American thing, right? Every single March, we look forward
Well, no, but it's
to
also
that
the next
tournament.
step. It's not even about a fan thing. It's the next step to get to the league.
Yeah,
Like you have to go. Like it's very unlikely that you're either gonna have to play pro level before you go to the NBA, like you're playing overseas, or you're going to play in college to prove that you're at the
yeah.
next level. Like that's part of the step. There's not another method really to get there. I mean, every once in a while you have someone who comes up from like I guess the G League, but it's not common. Like that you just went
No,
straight G League. You didn't, you didn't play in the other ones first or anything like that. And for every G
right.
League success story, there's a lot that, dude, they never come back up. That's it.
Hmm. Yeah, look at Lamelo. Like Lamelo for he played overseas last year before he was the top three overall.
He
Was he number one?
also
I don't know
he
if he
also
was,
grew
but
a ton, and he had huge
yeah,
markability. There's a lot of things. He's a very big exception because like Lamelo, a lot of people had question marks when he was like 6'2", but once the guy hit like 6'8" when he was 17, like it changed it. He's like, all right, we just need to see him play versus top comp because he already had the skills and he's huge now. He's like a massive point guard. Like there were certain things that definitely shifted into. Are we doing one more, or is that wrapping? What's the
yeah.
deal, Sam?
Yeah, that's
We do.
52. Let's do one more. We'll finish. We'll
All
still
right.
finish before 7.
So Starkiller said about NCAA availability. That would definitely play on the minds. I feel like parents here, their mentality is so much different. Like everyone wants you to get a college degree. Like that's the number one thing. Unless you're like phenomenal, where you're like, I'm going out of college. Like for example, for soccer, like Jack Harrison, he went to Wake Forest. He dominated.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was gone after a year. Like he was that good where like he could not play
Well,
college for 4 years.
soccer's different
Yeah,
because
so
college though is not great here. It's different.
Yeah,
So
it's not. No.
that structure is different. You can't compare. That's not comparing 1-to-1 at all because going to college here does not mean that you're going to get to the pros quicker. But going to college in like for the NBA, that 1 year, one and done does give you a straight land strip or landing strip of how to get to the NBA. It doesn't play into the system here. Runway, yeah, you know where I'm going.
Yeah, Mike and George accept. Real quick, Starkiller, because you're specifically asking about OTE. Yes, but OTE has relationships with the NBA, so they are looking to replace NCAA. So the idea would be the OTE would be a stepping stone straight into the NBA. If you're good enough, you go into the NBA. If you're not good enough, you go to China or you go to EuroLeague or you go into the G League, right? Because you're still good enough to earn a salary playing basketball. And if you're not good, and if you're not happy going to a second tier league, then you go to college. Who cares about playing college ball? You'll go to college. Now I know sponsorship and whatnot, but the point is you would have been earning like I think it's a minimum salary of like it's a set salary of like
130,
150K a
right?
year.
150.
130 or
I saw, like,
150.
yeah.
So I mean, you're getting paid 150K at 17 and 18 annually to pay for your own college if you don't make it. I think that's okay. So that's kind of like OTE specifically. That's their plan, is to become a pathway into the NBA or G League or China or EuroLeague.
Well, and all
And
they
I know
need is
G
to prove
League
that
is
it
also
works.
doing schooling.
That's all. Well, all it has to do is to prove that it works. The only problem is it won't work as a guarantee. So there's this is like I'm just playing devil's advocate because like if you were to sacrifice because there's a lot of guys that do make it to the NBA after 2 years of college or 3 years of college. Every once in a while, like actually there's quite a few that make it after 4. It's not as common these days, but yeah.
Obi Toppin,
But that's like
he's
where
like
it's hard.
23, and he's a rookie for the Knicks. You know,
I mean, even JJ Redick's still in the league. He's a 4-year guy.
My point, but the point here is
Draymond Green was a 4-year guy. Sorry, go ahead.
it's not. It is trying to break a broken system with the NCAA and AAU. Right, youth sport is broken in this country, like really broken.
yes.
For casual or for path to pro. Like it's broken at both levels. Fuck, it's broken at adult level. The amount me and Mike pay to play casually together is a joke.
Yep.
Is an absolute joke. Right? In the UK, we could just rock up and play organized football in parks with goalposts and not spend money. Like, and it's also subsidized by the government, even at adult level. If we do wanted a proper league with proper nets and proper goals and referees, unfortunately, all the money is obviously at the top of the pyramid, and that top of the pyramid does not rely on the bottom of the pyramid beyond providing its talent. And therefore, because again, we're in the US and it is a capitalist system, like money first system.
I can't move, by the way. Sorry.
Okay, it's one of those that we may just have to wait. Because we're in the US and the system, it encourages them to ensure that youth sports, the bulk of the effort and the money put into it is to drive to professional sport. Right? That's what is encouraged in this country. Whereas in the UK, it's a little bit more of a welfare state, so there's investment in youth sport because of the health reasons and whatnot. But that's the most important thing. It's like people here, the money in basketball here is AAU because it drives to NCAA and then it drives to NBA, and that's where the money is. They don't care about me and Mike playing pickup. No one gives a shit about that.
Well, I was going to say also...
Or are we done?
Yeah, we probably do. Invite quick. The other thing I was going to say is, like, what's really interesting, too, is, like, so Sam and I and George played in the league as well. It's I would say, arguably the best league in New York City. But we play in, like, super east side of Manhattan. We take over a softball pitch. And then they have goals that are dragged on, and we pay a premium for this. Like, whoever runs that, well, I know who runs the league. The guy that runs the league has to be making a killing because he has a bunch of leagues that are running on this softball pitch that he probably pays barely anything for. But he has great competition. It's a great league in terms of the competition. But it's like we don't even have a dedicated pitch. We're literally playing in a softball outfield.
So bad.
So-
I sent
so-
everyone in.
You talk about that league, right, and how prestigious it is, or like how level it is. What's stopping anyone else from making a league of that level and just
Space.
getting better? Yeah, I mean, is it really that
Facilities.
difficult to rent out?
It's hard
or
to find
have a
space in
permit?
Manhattan. Like the Chelsea league's going to cost you just as much money, if not more. Then if you want to play in the Brooklyn leagues, fine. You get a nicer situation, but I still think it's similar price. But then you have to also go to Brooklyn. But I think it's really similar in price. I don't think you're getting a better deal again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ready up, George? Just so we can squeeze one last game in.
You're talking the Brooklyn leagues in terms of was
Like
it
playing
Brooklyn
underneath
Bridge
the
Park,
Peters.
right? Brooklyn
Yeah, I
Bridge
mean,
Park, right? Like in Williamsburg.
That's not where the
don't,
leagues usually.
Sean.
Usually on the
Sean,
piers. Yeah.
Starkiller, that's the point. You don't break the model. You just, this is the point. Americans need to stop trying to make football, like soccer, Americanized.
Yeah.
And Europeans shouldn't be trying to make American a different system. It is what it is. You're born into certain countries. It's kind of like the same thing. If you're born in Europe, you get free healthcare and free education. Congratulations. You're born here poor, you're fucked. It's just what it is, right? Like, we can try changing it, but, like, ultimately, I think no one's asking. I'm not trying to change the NFL, but I also don't want American owners to try and change the Premier League. That's what I'm saying, right? It isn't about changing the model. It's about making tweaks to a model to continue to improve it. That's, I don't think it's at the point where it needs to be broken and rebuilt. That suggests there's something fundamentally wrong with it, where clearly there isn't, with sports on either side of the pond.
Yep, I agree with that. Every league is working, you would see like massive bankruptcies if it wasn't working. You know, you would see interest going down. You don't see that. Maybe baseball, but hockey, basketball, football in other countries, their viewership's all going up. That demand is all up. And if not for COVID, I mean, it would be thriving right now. I didn't even realize I had the ball there. I think, and definitely think COVID has also highlighted some of the maybe some of the things that they've been like really concerned with maybe over the last like 5 to 10 years that they never talked about because like listen, they were getting their share every single year. There was no massive debt or anything like that.
Oh, I thought you were going to attack that back post. My bad.
I just think COVID accelerated a lot of the process on a lot of things actually, not just sporting level, but even the world.
Yeah, people get married real quick during COVID.
Back post.
Even like I hear like for example just in the IRL world, it's like cash. Like they said like I read a study that's like there's a 50% accelerated like mark on like debit cards and all of that because of how like dirty money is, right? And carrying that around. They said like the US dollar is losing value, pretty much monthly now because people are going more so like kind of digital. And then that's kind of been accelerated just from COVID. That's kind of like a tangent, but like that's what I saw.
Oh, I'm holding triangle. Sean, do I think the Europe League needs big change in your opinion? No. The business side of soccer needs a big change. It is an unsustainable amount of money going into it right now. Oh, geez, sorry, I can't do double. I can't multitask clearly.
Let's not lose our last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I
chilling,
don't
we're chilling.
think from a structural standpoint there needs to be a huge amount of change. There needs to be a better revenue sharing model between everyone. Right? If you shared more revenue with the players, you wouldn't have to. I'm just going to clear it. You wouldn't have to pay them as much salaries. It just needs to be a more equitable model. But the bankruptcies that do happen, Mike.
Oh my goodness. That's lucky. We'll take it.
The bankruptcies that do happen are mismanagement. You're spending way too much on players, not enough on revenue generation. Got him.
I think it was funny though from a lot of the European Super League clubs where it was like
Really? Fucking goal hanging. I'm literally.
It was like from Barca's point of view, right? Like you spend all this money on Griezmann, you spend all this money on Dembele, Coutinho, all these players, and now like you're crying out about like debt. You weren't crying about all this when you were paying 80 to 130 million on players, right? If Juve, for example, if you can't pay the contracts of Ronaldo, the fees of Ronaldo, De Ligt, the free contracts of Ramsey, Rabiot, all these deals that you've done, that is on you. You have broke your books. As a business, you are taught to balance your books. If you are spending more than what you make, right, that is on you. And the football pyramid will show that, listen, it's going to hurt you if you make those poor decisions. Like we've seen it multiple times of clubs like, that have not balanced their books and they've literally had to reset and they've had to sell players and they've gone down into lower division. I mean, look at just in England, for example, like Leeds, right? Like they were one of the biggest clubs in England, in the early 2000s, late 90s. You look at like Aston Villa, you take a look at like Sunderland, all of these clubs, right, have had like major shift arounds, right? And I don't know if that was due to like, balancing books or whatever, but that's something that can happen. So like all these European Super League clubs are kind of just like, Madrid, by the way. Madrid are paying for a new stadium. How can you afford a new stadium if you're in debt? I mean, that's like 600 million, for that. Spurs took a loan out from the government. If you can't pay that, what are you doing? Right? So I think it's a lot of, like, it all came back to like privilege and also the American system that they were trying to implement.
Oh, you let it bounce.
It's like it's a poor way to run your business. It's really poor.
I see. Those passes never work.
Yeah, and look at like Newcastle too. They've not balanced their books or anything like that, but they have an
Oh, he took it
owner.
down.
Yeah, I shot it, but it didn't work. Whatever.
Oh no! Damn it, Sam.
Like if you have poor owners, right? You're gonna pay for that.
Oh, that was probably my fault too. Back to you, George.
Let Beckham shoot it.
I got it. Thank you.
Oh wow!
Could have chipped them.
Yeah, I just
Like,
thought that was a sure thing.
That was the right idea.
Got him.
Come on.
No way.
What is going on?
We're good. We're good. We got a lot of time.
No, what is that?
Oh, come on, game.
I got 3 here.
Sabio's covered. Come on, Eusebio.
Oh,
Keep the patience.
we got this.
It's ours. Wow.
And they're goal hanging with 2 guys, so.
We're good. Why take so
Come
long?
short.
Wow.
That's
A
just
little
not
bit
working
low.
right now.
I hate these guys. Come on. Plenty of time.
And they all have white too. It's just like nice. That's a great play.
Stars.
No, my God.
Wow.
That's kickoff.
It's unlucky.
9
Not even
seconds still.
controlling that. Jesus. That sucks. All right. Good night on that note, fellas. Chat, everyone.
Oh, my
I'm so unhappy that we played the last game now. All right. Bye. My energy is torn from that. Enjoy your evening. We got economics with Chris today. That's what you got for your takeaway. All right. Good night.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
goodness. Bye, everybody.